In late 2025, the most viral brand in America wasn't TikTok or Tesla. It was a warehouse that sold bulk mayonnaise. Costco is breaking every rule in the book. They are selling $200 million in gold bars a month. They are being sued by the luxury brands for making products too good. And somehow, a father-son duo eating a double chunk chocolate cookie became the biggest thing on the internet. Today, we are taking apart the Costco code. We start with the Robin Hood protocol, the secret pact that keeps their prices frozen in time. We'll expose the free money financial hack that lets them grow using other people's cash. We'll analyze the accidental viral phenomenon that captivated Gen Alpha. And finally, the dark side of their supply chain that threatens to ruin it all. Here is the reality behind the hype. To understand this company, you don't look at their stock price, you look at their hot dog. The Costco hot dog combo has been $1.50 since 1985. Through 5 recessions, a global pandemic, and massive inflation, the price has never changed. This isn't just a cheap lunch, it is a social contract. For many struggling families, Costco has become an inflation shield. It guarantees that no matter how bad the economy gets, a hot meal will always cost $1.50. But how do they afford to lose money on millions of hot dogs? They execute a strategy we call the Robin Hood protocol. Costco is building a massive advertising engine to tax the giants. They charge brands like P&G and Samsung millions of dollars for access to your data. But unlike Amazon, which keeps that profit, Costco does something radical. They take that ad money and pour it directly into lowering prices on the shelf. They take from the rich brands to subsidize the hot dog for you. It is corporate wealth redistribution. And it works because it buys them something more valuable than profit: your trust. But trust requires discipline. You can't just be nice, you have to be rigorous. And to ensure this Robin Hood philosophy never dies, they codify it into an unbreakable law. This brings us to the 14% cap. Most businesses follow a simple rule: charge as much as you can. Standard retail markup is 25% to 50%. Costco breaks this law. They mandated that they will never mark up a brand name item more than 14%. Even if they could charge more, they refuse. This is a lesson in fiduciary trust. They realize that if you refuse to gouge the customer, you eliminate the cognitive load. You stop checking prices, you just buy. And once you trust them completely, you stop treating them like a store. You start treating them like an agent. That allows them to flip the entire business model. They turn a grocery store into a subscription business. Think about it. Why do you pay $65 just to walk into the door? Because you aren't paying for the product. You are paying Costco a salary to shop for you. In fact, nearly 70% of their operating income comes just from that fee. This changes the psychology. You feel like you belong to a private club. So, the membership fee makes the profit. But how do you pay for the billions of dollars of inventory sitting on their shelf right now? They don't. They use a hack to make the big companies like Samsung pay for it. This brings us to the financial engine of the company. You use a financial hack called the negative cash conversion cycle. This is the holy grail for any entrepreneur. Normally, a business has to buy inventory, pay for it, and then wait for it to sell. That locks up your cash. Costco moves its product so fast, selling through the inventory in weeks, that they sell the product before they have to pay the supplier. Let's say they sell a Samsung TV today. They get your cash instantly, but they don't pay Samsung for weeks. For that time, Costco is holding Samsung's money. They can invest it, they can build new stores with it. They are essentially financed by their supplier, interest-free. Now, why would Samsung agree to all of this? Because Costco is the gatekeeper. It's a take it or leave it deal. Costco offers massive volume in exchange for massive leverage. This is how you grow multi-billion-dollar empire using other people's money. And once you have that much cash and that much leverage, you can start selling things that no grocer should ever sell, like gold. Trust isn't about cheap hot dogs. It's about believing that a warehouse can sell you life savings. This brings us back to the gold bars. In 2025, Costco started selling 1-ounce bars of pure 24-karat gold. They priced them slightly below market value. They limited them to 2 bars per member, and they sold out in hours. It proved that Costco's buyers are so skilled they can beat the banks at their own game. Now, let's unpack that statement. Their buyers beat the bank at their own game. How does a grocer out-negotiate a bank? They use a tactic called the kingmaker deal. Costco goes to a supplier, for example, a gold refiner or a toothpaste maker, and says, "We are only going to carry one brand of this item. If you give us the lowest price in the world, we'll give you 100% of our business. You will sell $500 million overnight. But if you can't beat that price, we'll give that $500 million check to your competitor." The supplier must say yes to get that massive check. Same goes for the gold application. Normally, gold passes through 3 or 4 middlemen before it gets to you. Each one takes a cut. Costco went straight to the source. They told the refiners, "We sell more gold in Tuesday afternoon than a jewelry store sells in a year. But you have to give us the wholesale price." They use their massive volume to bypass the entire banking supply chain and sell directly to Costco at rock bottom rates. So, why do it if the margin is zero? It is a strategy called the high-low halo. If Costco only sold toilet paper and mayo, you would think of them as a discount store. By selling gold, diamonds, and omega watches, they change the narrative entirely. They signal that Costco is a place of limitless possibility. They want you to camp for the toilet paper but stay for the treasure hunt. It proved that their buyers are so skilled, they can beat the bank at their own game. It transformed the brand from cheap to valuable. And more importantly, it forces you to check their website every single day, just in case the gold is back in stock. But gold is easy to sell. The real challenge is selling clothes. How do you get people to buy generic leggings instead of luxury brands? You declare war. Their smartest trick isn't financial, it's psychological. They are exposing the biggest line in the global economy, the brand tax. Meet Kirkland's signature. Unlike Great Value or Amazon Basics, which are usually cheap knockoff, Kirkland is a premium predator. It generates $90 billion a year. That makes it bigger than Nike and Coca-Cola combined. Why does it exist? Easy answer is to bully the big brands. Costco goes to the same top-tier factories that make the luxury goods. They say, "Make us the exact same product but put our logo on it." In 2025, Lululemon, the luxury yoga brand, actually sued Costco. Why? Because Costco generic leggings were too good. They were duping the $100 pants for $15. In the business playbook, this is called supply chain arbitrage. It is a strategy used when you have enough volume to force the factory to compete against the brand it serves. It proved that you aren't paying for the quality. Instead, you are paying for the logo. Costco directly sucker punched the sore spot of premium brands. Now, they capture the parents with cheap leggings and gold bars. But to survive the future, they needed the kids. And they didn't do it with marketing. They did it with a cookie. Usually, a warehouse store is boring. It's for parents. But in 2025, Costco pulled off the impossible. They became cool. Meet the Costco guys, a father and son who turned reviewing the food court into a viral empire. Their catchphrases about the double chunk chocolate cookie introduced the brand to Gen Alpha. Costco didn't pay for this. They didn't plan this. This is a textbook example of return on lack. In the corporate world, lack is the careful strategic action for the specific return. Most brands would try to control the narrative and make the most of it in a greedier manner. But Costco's strategy was indifferent. I will call it the strategic restraint. They didn't interfere. They simply ensured the cookies were in stock and the hot dogs were hot. They understood that authenticity is the only currency that matters on TikTok. But you know what? Lack isn't meant for long, and it can run out over time, slowly but eventually. And while the internet was celebrating the cookie, a storm was quietly brewing in the supply chain that could sink the whole ship. But we are the insider. We don't just read the press release, we look at the shadows. And Costco has a dark side controversy. First, look at the shrimp. Costco has faced repeated lawsuits alleging that their prawn supply chain in Thailand is tainted by forced labors and ghost ships. Why they fight this claim in court? It highlights the risk of low prices at any cost. Then, there is the $4.99 chicken. To keep the price low, Costco built a massive factory in Nebraska that processed 100 million birds a year. To put that in perspective, at $4.99 per chicken, 100 million birds equal roughly $500 million in annual revenue. But more importantly, those chickens are the magnet for billions in other sales. Putting $500 million of revenue into one building is the definition of high stakes, or you may even call it high risk. This centralization provokes a single point of failure. What if a bird flu outbreak hits Nebraska? The magnet that draws 100 million people into the store will vanish into thin air. It is undeniably a high-stakes gamble by default. Now, you might ask, why take that risk? Because it was the only way to keep the price at $4.99. But they aren't reckless. They have a redundancy protocol. Nebraska only produces 50% of their total supply. They intentionally keep buying the other half from the external giant like Tyson, just to keep those supply lines open. If Nebraska goes down, they pull the lever and buy more from Tyson. The catch? It will cost Costco significantly more money. But here is the difference between Costco and everyone else. They will pay the higher price, but they won't charge you for it. They will eat the loss to protect the social contract. The factory is the gamble. The balance sheet is the backup plan. What a cost to protect trust, as is their differentiator from the rest. Remember to not betray something that brought you grown up. Not like some industry that lost its soul in the invention and started making profit instead. It's Apple. The story is already aired. Anyhow, let's get back to the fact that they have risks in their supply chain. But they have to keep growing. To win the next decade, they have yet to solve their biggest weakness, which is the product selection lines, and they don't have enough staff. For 40 years, Costco had one major flaw in the item selection. A typical Costco only has 4,000 items, where Amazon has 600 million items. If you wanted a specific niche product, you have to leave Costco. But in 2026, they are fixing that with a silent innovation called Costco Next. This is their future. It is a curated dropship model. It allows members to buy directly from the factories of their favorite brands like Anchor or Samsung at exclusive Costco pricing. But here is the genius part. Costco never touches the box. The supplier ships it to you directly. Costco takes the profit. Meanwhile, takes zero inventory risk. This creates an infinite aisles without the warehouse cost. It combines the trust of Costco with the selection level of Amazon. This is how Costco scaled from $200 billion to $500 billion without even building a single new parking lot. Now, here's the moment for the strategic truth. There is a universal law of business hiding in these aisles. Amazon sells convenience, Costco sells trust. In a world of algorithms, AI, and speed, we assume that new is always better. But Costco proved that sometimes the smartest innovation is simply refusing to change. They refuse to raise the price of the hot dog. They stubbornly refuse to mark up their goods beyond 14%. And they refuse to treat their members like data points. They innovated by staying exactly the same in a world that lost its mind. So, whether you are building a startup or just buying groceries, ask yourself, are you playing the short game, which is maximizing the margin, or are you playing the long game, which is maximizing the trust? The short game pays you today, the long game pays you forever. Costco's future isn't about becoming more digital. It's about using the digital world to protect the physical one. And what is the physical one? It is the town square. Amazon keeps us isolated, a lonely box on a porch. Costco brings us together. It is the last place in America where billionaires and bus drivers push the same carts down the same aisles, hunting for the same treasure. They will use ads, data, and gold bars to build a wall around their members, a wall that keeps inflation out and trust in. They aren't just selling groceries. They are selling the last honest transaction left in America, the human connection. Enjoy the savings? Just remember, the membership is the real product. Subscribe for more, stay disciplined, and unless you like paying the brand tax, stay insightful.